obviously we're here to talk about Exes, but
Yes.
I
Movie, right?
figured
Because I don't want to talk about my actual exes, if that's cool with you.
Beth, tell us
Oh,
about all of them.
oh my gosh. We had a remarkable experience, probably the best experience I've had in 20 years of working in this business and living in this town with a small cast and crew, but we created a community that just absolutely supported each other and cared for each other and protected each other. And with all that combined, we really outperformed the possibilities of the feature film X's. We set out to do a movie in 15 days with a very minimal budget and a whole lot of favors. And what we ended up with is substantially, not that I would ever cut myself short, that I don't think I could pull it off.
Yeah,
I just think the amount of friends and favors that were given and the people that showed up, it just was a beautiful creative experience. There was a lot of input. It was very collaborative, and I think people are going to love what we did, and not only love what we did, love seeing some of their favorite TV and
sure.
film actors in ways that you haven't seen them before. You haven't seen
Oh,
myself, Briana, Mark Sheppard, Felicia Day, or Ricky Whittle um, in this way at all. So it is fun and it is wild. And we had the fires shut us down for several days of the production, and we were able to pick up pace and pull it off and still make a great movie. And that's what's most exciting. And not only a great movie, but a movie packed with characters that you're really going to care about for different reasons, right or wrong. These characters are so flawed in so many ways, and that's what makes them so relatable in my eyes. And really, I can't. There's not enough words that I could put into effect the gratitude that I have for the people involved in this project. And now we are not slowing down. We're going to get this project done, and we're halfway through the edit already. And on the tail of that, we're going to launch Public Domain immediately. Public Domain is our animated show that I have going with some of the same people from X's, and it's going to be tremendous. Our animator Nate has just designed out the bar, and we're getting very, very close to start recording voices probably here in the next 2 to 4 weeks of these new
fantastic.
characters. Yeah.
Great stuff. Great stuff. If you've got time, I'd love to kind of go back a bit on directing and kind of go through your history in directing. I think it'd be kind of nice thing to do, to just talk about how you got started, why you got started, and the other stuff you've done.
Well, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect because it's a definite tie into the Richard Speight Jr. fan world, because we are all fans of this man, and for great reason. I was an actor for 15 years, and I befriended Rich, probably 2 or 3 or 4 years into my acting career, and we were thick as thieves for a long time. And then he made not the pivot, but he added to his repertoire his skill set of being a director. And I saw him do it, and I was intrigued by it. And I thought, if he can do it, I can try to follow in his footsteps and see if I can pull it off. And we're two geeks for filmmaking.
Yeah.
We love it. We think it's fantastic. It's one of the most difficult, career endeavors you could ever head down. But if you have a childlike enthusiasm and a childlike creativity in your heart, it's really the most rewarding experience you can have. So I off the heels of Rich going through the Warner Brothers School of Directing and going out into the world and doing all these episodes of network television, I thought I'd try the same path. And I did, and I applied to the Warner Brothers School of Directing, and I was told that you have to have a short film. So I made a short film. That short film is called Mama Bear, and it's on my
Mhm.
YouTube page, free for the world to watch now. Stars my wife and Jim Beaver, Briana Buckmaster, Kim Rhodes, Jason Mans, Jeffrey Parise, Adam Fergus, like a slew of our favorite
Rich.
supernatural folks. And I did it, and it went well, and we got a bunch of rewards through film festivals and whatnot. And so I went to the Warner Brothers School of Directing. The lady that was teaching it at the time has been like a mentor to me. Her name is Bethany Rooney, and she's a fantastic network TV director with 200 plus episodes of TV under her belt. And she goes, okay, well, there's a new requirement to join the class, and that requirement is that you have to be lined up to direct an episode of TV. A showrunner has had to give you, their word that you were going to finish the class and go directly into directing an episode of TV. And I thought, wow, that's impossible. As a new director, how do you call a showrunner and go, hey, I'm going to go to school to learn how to direct, and then I need you to promise me an episode? It seemed so far-fetched. But in a strange turn of events, Supernatural decided it was going to be in its 15th and final season. And during early on in that season, some of the executive producers had to slide over to another Eric Kripke show by the name of The Boys that we all know and love so much. And some of those co-executive producers and executive producers were on the slate to direct episodes in season 15. Well, they got busy with The Boys, and they had to shift their mind power over to there, and it opened up a couple directing spots. So Richard called me and said, hey, buddy, why don't you text Bob Singer? Those of you who don't know who Bob Singer is, he's kind of the granddaddy of Supernatural, and has kept it going and kept us all in line for many years. And I said, Rich, I'm going to send an email to Bob Singer asking him if a no-name director like me with very little background can come on and direct their show in the final season, but probably what is to be the most important season to the fans. And he goes, yeah, you never know until you ask. And then he hung up on me. And then I sat with that for a little while, and I thought, okay, all right, well, he hasn't steered me wrong yet, at least not on purpose. And I sent this email to Bob Singer, and the email was very simple. It said, here's my short film, and I know that there are some directing spots opening up, and I would love to come up. I care about the show greatly. It's given me life. It's given my family an opportunity to exist in Hollywood, and I would love to direct the show. So here's my short film. And also, P.S., if you want me to leave you alone, tell me where to go. That's okay. You can do, I can take an honest critique and an honest opinion from somebody, and it could have been very easily, you're not the guy. So I sent that email. It was about 3 lines, and I didn't hear anything from Bob for about 2.5 or 3 months. So I figured, well, I burned that bridge. He laughed that email right into the recycling bin, and that was that. And then out of the blue, I get an email that was very much in Bob Singer's voice, and those who know him know what I'm talking about. And the email was very simply stated, hey, what's the password to watch your movie? I need to show some people at the CW. And I was like, okay, yeah, here it is. That was all. And then 3 days later, he wrote me back and said, hey, everybody signed off. Everybody loves Mama Bear at the CW and Warner Brothers and whatnot. We're going to have you up here to direct an episode. And that was it. And I kind of sat in front of the computer and printed that email to have proof that it was real. I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I didn't know. I still couldn't believe it, that I was going to get this opportunity. So then I did. I went up, and I immediately had to go to orientation at the DGA, and I had to go up and shadow Rich on an episode. And it was like September, October, Rich was directing. So I went right up there. And my episode was slated to be like beginning of January through the beginning of February or something like that. And I went up, I did it. It happened fast. It happened quick. And then we rolled into the pandemic. I wrapped my episode, I think, February 5th, and I was halfway through the edit around March, the beginning of March, when they shut down LA. And I went back to Bethany Rooney at the Warner Brothers Directors Workshop, and I said, hey, I did all these things now. Can I get in the class? And she said, oh, sorry, you can't take the class now because you've already directed network television. And I'm sitting there and thinking, oh, well, I have so much to learn. I want to learn from you. I want to sit in front of Bethany Rooney. I want to understand everything she knows about directing, and I didn't have that opportunity. So I somewhat fast forwarded my directing career, watching Rich do it, listening to Rich's advice, being a fan of Rich and enjoying his work ethic and his nonstop ability to kind of overcome and outperform, you know, his all his surroundings. No matter what, he always rises up. And so I took that inspiration and I got up there and I did that thing. And then I thought, all right, great. I just directed an episode of TV. It's going to be a big deal for me. And the pandemic hit and changed all that. It essentially erased anybody ever knowing I was a DGA director or that I ever worked in Hollywood, and things just shut down and it was forgotten. So fast forward to a year or two later, we come out of the pandemic. I was writing with my writing partner, Lee Ehlers, during the pandemic, and we come up with a couple of concepts that we could do with minimal actors, minimal locations, because we thought, oh, wow, we're going to live in a pandemic for the rest of our lives, clearly. So what do we do now? Everybody in Hollywood tried to come up with their most creative idea to continue paying the bills and continue producing projects. So I wrote these couple of simple scripts, and one of them was called Exes, one was called Bounty, and one was called The Crash. And Lee kind of, you know, penned all these scripts and made them into a way where we could do them during the pandemic and pull it off. And then the pandemic ended. And then we said, well, we got to figure out how to make these movies. We just have all these movies written. We got to still figure it out. And here we are. We got into 2024 and we said, wow, the strikes, there's the most rain that LA's ever seen in 2 years. It's all this chaos happening around us where everybody's locked in their houses and can't seem to figure out how to move forward. Let's find a group of people that want to move forward and are willing to work really hard with the idea that we will build a team and a group of people that will not only make one project together, we will continue to make projects out of a production stable of actors, crew, and anybody and everybody you need to make a movie. We'll do it together. We'll seed out the bad ones, the people that don't really want to be there for anything other than self-benefit. And we can do this. And the end of 2024 came around and we couldn't find financial investment. So Lee, my producer, my creative partner, and myself borrowed some money against our homes, our family homes, and we set out to make Exes. And we set out to do it in 15 days, which is a monumental task for any feature film. Hallmark typically does 15-day shoots, and they pull it off without overtime. And they typically have, you know, about $1 million or more to make a movie. And we had significantly less, and we had not a lot of time and a lot of movie to make. So I called in every favor, and I called in every actor that ever would answer a text message and every person that I could ever possibly think I could depend on, and everybody showed up and said yes. And we rolled into 2025 not knowing how it was going to end or how this was going to go, this opportunity for all of us, which was really substantial, right? It's me to star and direct. It's Briana to star. We have great big supporting cameos from Mark Sheppard, Felicia Day, and Ricky Whittle. We have voice acting by none other than Ruth Connell, one of the greatest voice actors alive as far as I'm concerned. We have voice acting from Adam Fergus, another profound voice, and some others that I'll leave as Easter eggs for people to discover. But everybody showed up, everybody did it, everybody cared for each other. When there were fires, everybody came to my house to sleep. I mean, I had 12 crew members sleeping in my house during the nights of the fires. I had my DP in my house. I had my producers in my house. I had my actresses in my house. Everybody was living in here. My wife was cooking and cleaning and running an Airbnb basically for you know, all of these orphaned people, and we got through it. And not only did we get through it, we thrived through it. We built what I always hoped for in Hollywood. And for the first time, I actually feel that I am part of a filmmaking community that actually cares about each other and not just the bottom line and not just the dollar and not just the credit. We want to do great, and we want to do great working alongside people that are great and kind. Hollywood doesn't have to be this egotistical, my way or the highway type of atmosphere. And I like it when it's not. It's more enjoyable to work in this business when you're productive with a group of people that you enjoy. So that's what happened. It all started with, of course, Richard Speight Jr. And given the situation, 15 days shooting an action movie, it is very hard to act and direct without replay, right? Because
Yeah.
every time I do a take, I need to go and rewind and do a
Yeah.
replay. So Rich came on board as one of our most important creative collaborators and producers, and he was there on set every day. And I made it very clear on the first day that when Rich Speight Jr. says, we need another one, we need another one. And if he says we can move on, we can move on. So he became the most important set of eyes that I could have had on myself while I'm trying to direct and act through these scenes. His ability and my trust in him really is why we got through it. I never watched but a couple of replays during production. I set the shot.
Yeah.
I tried to get the acting beats as close as I could, and then I started the scene, and I would look across the room at Rich, and he would either go, do it again, or yeah, buddy, it's working. And it's just something to be said for what a fan I am of the guy, obviously, but what a stand-up individual he is. And I'm forever indebted, not only to him, but to every person in my crew, every person in my cast. And I told them all that. As I wrapped the picture, I said, listen, you all can call me to be the guy that needs to show up and do one line in your
Yeah.
movie or your student film or your short film. If you need somebody to do craft service, if you need a last minute director, whatever it is, these people showed up for me, and this is the community I'd always hoped for. And it started with the seed of Richard Speight Jr., being planted in my mind that basically, and it's something I stick to today, you never know until you ask, and the answer is always yes until it's a no. So don't be scared to ask for what you want. Don't be scared to try and get it. And if one person says no, ask another person, and so on and so forth. You will find like-minded people that want you to succeed, and they want to be part of you succeeding. And that's a very, very beautiful and special thing to have. And again, as if I could say his name enough, Richard Speight Jr. is a large part of the success of who I am mentally as a filmmaker and my ability as a filmmaker. And we're geeks together, and there's nothing more fun. Two geeks that love film and TV on a set together. There is nothing better. Like for him and I, we work so productively. There's no argument. It's just him and I really, there's not a project I wouldn't co-direct with Rich. And I would not hesitantly say that he probably feels the same about me. I think we elevate each other's style. We elevate each other's kind of directorial know-how, and I learn from him and he learns from me the whole time. It's one of the most beautiful scenarios I could have ever hoped for in this business. So if that wasn't a long-winded answer enough,
No, that's fun. That's good. That's great. I think something you've touched on there, and I kind of get frustrated. You saw the negativity online, and a movie will come out and people can't wait to kind of downvote it on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. And I don't think people realize how hard it is to get something made. Regardless, even when you've got all the budget behind you, it's not an easy thing to actually get that. So to do that kind of guerrilla filmmaking, and when you've got low budget, you're calling in favors, you're doing it, on almost the schedule of an episode of television for a feature, and you're doing it, which was an action movie. We saw the bumps and bruises, and so we know it's going to be fairly wild. And
yeah.
I don't think people really appreciate how hard it is to get that done with all that against you. And I think anything that someone could actually get released, can actually get made, is worthy of respect purely for that, whether it's good or bad. If it's good, then great. But I think people seem to think that Hollywood's just this factory that you just it's really easy. You just turn up and go, right, I'm making a movie, and everyone falls in, instead of it actually being a battle,
It is an absolute battle, and it's so much easier to not do it. Even during the process of this month, the month of January in this year, I slept probably 3 or 4 hours a night, and when you open your eyes after 3 or 4 hours and know that if you don't immediately get back to work, you will fail. You will fail. And I don't mean get to work back at the studio filming. I would get home at 8 or 9 o'clock and wrap the first day, and then I would work for 2-3 hours on the next day's material as an actor and as a director, reshaping shot lists, reshaping my performance. And then I would go to sleep at about midnight, and my alarm would go off at around 4. And I knew that I had to be back on set at 7. So I had 2 more hours to focus on what I was doing. And I was exhausted, but I couldn't be stopped. I couldn't, there was no like, oh man, I got to do this again. It was like, all right, let's get a little caffeine. Let's get these eyes open and let's put them on a page. And then immediately your creative starts kicking in, and it is the greatest feeling. It is a dopamine dump for me anyways, that is gigantic and equivalent to, you know, anything that you enjoy in life. For me to be able to close my eyes and creatively think what this movie is going to look like, what I'm going to look like as an actor in it, and then how all my other very talented friends are going to show up and be part of this thing that's stuck inside my head is amazing. It's planting a seed of a flower and watching it grow 15 feet every night. And every night you start at the bottom of this mountain and you got it, and you get to the top of it by the end of the next day. And then guess what? You're kicked back down to the bottom for the next day. And you got to climb this wild mountain of 12 to 15 pages of dialogue and action and not missing moments and not missing beats. And then you get knocked down again, and you keep making that climb. And the thing about struggle, I'm a father of a 10-year-old, and I'm trying to instill in him how important the struggle is. No matter how easy I want to make his life, everything in my life has been obtained because I struggled as a young person, and I was given hard things to do constantly. The struggle is what makes it worth it, what makes you capable, and what proves to yourself that good and hard are not different. They're on the same plane, right? Like good and bad or hard is the same exact thing. And we've all done hard and we've all dealt with bad. Just understand that not every day is going to be good or bad. You know, you can, or not every day is going to be bad. Those days can be good. You got to fight to get there. I wouldn't change any of it for any reason whatsoever. It was a rewarding experience. And to think we did it because we said we were going to do it is the only reason it got done. If you speak something into reality, and I'm not talking like The Secret and you can will this or that to you. Yeah, maybe not. But action and speaking your action, so much so that if you don't prove your actions, you become a liar, is my way to work. I talk a big game as often as possible because it scares the shit out of me that I might not be able to pull it off. And when I think I can't pull it off, and you guys or the fans at a convention or my acting friends or filmmaking friends are going to go, man, he's full of shit, drives me to do it. And that's what I need. I need to be backed up against a wall, and I need it to be like, oh, you're going to die today unless you show up for all those people around you. You sleep a little less, work a little harder, smile a little more, build people up, build your community, be the hero on your own block. These little things make it possible. And it's really the experience of life is this. It is, I want to do something. I want to do something to help myself. How can I be in service to others and help as many people as possible, bring as much light as possible to the people involved and in my circle while trying to go after my goal? That is the meaning of life, to help others. It's not go after your goal, get your thing, put it in your pocket, hide it away. It's go after your goal, help as many people as you can, be part of your goal. Yeah. Part of that dream. Whoever's struggling, help that person, latch onto them, and we grow together, and a big, great community comes out of it. And it makes the struggle easier to struggle with other people. And you realize the struggle paints your life in the most beautiful picture you could possibly imagine, because pictures without struggle, without passion, without desperation, without necessary relentlessness, it's just not, it's a boring picture. And whether that be a picture on a canvas, a picture on a screen, or on your TV, there's a solution to every problem. Just how creative can you be, right?
Yeah.
I have a really creative circle of people around me, and I have wild creative ideas. I can give you 1,000 ideas to do 1,000 different things, 1,000 different ways. Bring a bunch of people with you, listen to their perspective, collaborate with their ideas, and the best idea is what goes on screen. I had people on my set reshaping my directorial shot list, and then I would shoot their shot because I liked it better. Whether it was my script supervisor, whether it was my art department, whether it was my producers, my writers, I stayed wide open creatively, and it benefited so much the struggle, right? It's less of a struggle when you feel supported by other people's ideas, right? You can stand in front of an audience and go, these are my ideas. Listen to me. I know all. Or you can go, here's one idea that I'm not married to, but I think it's a pretty good idea. And oh, you got an idea? What's your idea? Holy shit. Well, if I take part of your idea with part of my idea and then part of his idea, now we have a magical idea. And that's what it takes. It's they say it takes a village to raise a baby. Well, a movie is certainly very much a baby, and it starts at nothing, and you build and destruct a company in 2 to 3 months. You put it up and then you put it to sleep, and you hope by at the end of it, you had a village of people helping you to do it and keep your head on straight and be kind and be generous and be creative and collaborative all through the process. And I did. And this is in 20 years I've been in LA, working in Hollywood now, and this is the single greatest experience I've ever had. And I've worked with fantastic elite actors and directors. I've worked with students making their first film. I've won Emmys. I've been awarded this, that, and the other thing. Like, there has never been a time where I've been happier to be part of Hollywood than this time right now. And it's independent filmmakers like me and this team of people that are going to rebuild Hollywood and reshape it, where
100%.
It's not the streaming executives collecting $250 million off your movie while your crew is working for $300 a day. It's going to be equal, and everybody's going to have some say, and people are going to have an ability to make more projects because we're going to do it together, and we're going to let go of the controlled creativity that confines us from the people writing the checks. And it's not that I'm against, big producers coming on and buying our movies and doing this, that, and the other thing, but it's more conducive to making a healthy community and a beautiful, healthy, really interesting project when it's the team of people on that set making the decisions, not some people on a Zoom link from an office telling you can't say that, or you should shoot it this way, or anything, So again, the struggle is real, and the struggle is worth it.
I think in independent movies, that's where the most original voices are coming from. It's not a remake or a sequel or something from another superhero. How many times can we kind of eke another member of this Marvel community into another movie? And I find that I'm kind of really struggling to watch blockbusters. And if I'm looking for stuff, most of the time my husband's kind of like, oh, I found this really tiny movie. It's like made on a budget of nothing. But that's the stuff that we're really enjoying is all those indies, because they take chances in a way that the studios can't afford to, because the studios have become very formulaic because they have to have guaranteed returns.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, for me, that's where all the interesting stories are coming out, because people are they're more edgy, or they've got something to say. They've got just something about them that makes them different from the stuff that we're getting bombarded with.
Right. Well, you said it perfectly. The studios can't take a risk on a $200 million feature. They have to make sure that $200 million feature is going to make $200+ million, or they can't do it. So when you have a star that costs $5 or $10 million, and then you have, you know, post-production that costs $50 million, and then you have a $200 million movie where $100 million of it is for advertisement, you know, it's not going into the movie. And I think there is a world now more than ever, given social media and the reach, that we can make it without spending millions of dollars on advertising and do a grassroots effort to get people to see it and hear about it and know about it. And it is proven itself. It has proven itself with many of our favorite cult classic movies. There's thousands of them. You have yours, I have mine. Like, people love many of these movies that aren't the superhero movie or the comic book movie. Not that I have anything against them. I am we need $200 million movies. We need Avatar. We need Deadpool, Wolverine. We need these type of movies. But also, the workforce in entertainment exists because of this size person and this size movie. Like, 75% of us are working on independent, smaller features, and you know, 20%, 25% are getting the opportunity to work on these giant movies. Great. But we're feeding the common man and woman, you know, that are trying to exist in the entertainment business. And that is my goal. My goal is to make a set where I can give 30 or 40 or 50 jobs to people that I know need a job, and they're happy to come to the job because it's a community of great people, you know, working towards a common goal. We can do this, and we're going to do this. I mean, I have just got off meetings with my co-creator and writer of Public Domain, this animated show that we're doing. I've got the entire cast of Exes, half the cast is Supernatural, everybody's involved. We have hundreds of Public Domain characters. Our animator, Nate, is absolutely crushing our original animation of characters we've known for 100 years. So, great. You've seen these characters before. It's going to be perfect. When you sit down, you'll have a background to every character already in your head that you don't even have to think about. When you see Santa Claus in the Public Domain bar, you know what Santa does. You know what he's done. You know what he has to do every Christmas Eve, but you haven't heard him tell his stories. You haven't heard him sit there and talk about the hard times and the different ups and downs of his life. And we're going to lay that out for everybody. And we're going to continue making films. We have another film that's likely going into production this summer. Same team of people and actors and creatives. Everybody's involved, except this time I'm going to be able to hopefully pay them proper paychecks. And it won't be such just a favor. Now, I won't be able to pay them $1 bajillion. It's not, you know, that scale, but they'll make enough money to exist in this town doing something they want to do. And that's what I want. I want a stable of... Yeah, that's it. I mean, you hope that you win the lotto one day, great. But in between winning the lotto, you got to work. You got to work, and you got to work hard. And it would be really nice if you could work hard on something you liked and cared about, and you also cared about the community within it. That's what I want to do. That's it. That's as simple as that. I'm not looking to be rich. I'm looking to continue to pay my mortgage and also work in a career that I enjoy working in. And I am over the moon at what we did with Exes. I am through the roof at the animation on Public Domain. And I cannot wait to call 30 people and say, hey, I have a job for you in 3 months from now again. Yes, that's it. That's it. That's all I want.
That's incredible. That's the dream, isn't it? Just to keep working, to actually just exist. That's great. So
Absolutely.
when can we see everything? How long? I mean, you're talking about you're in the edit for X.
We are. I mean, I have now. I'm going to knock on wood before I say it, and I have high expectations for having X's out by April-ish.
Oh wow!
As well as probably one episode of Public Domain. All around April, May. So we have lots of ideas. There's going to be, we are still trying to raise money. Obviously, we are still trying to look for, investors on any scale. I have now have hero worn clothing and props and autographed scripts and tons of stuff that I've put out on an eBay page. I have some
Okay.
Etsy swag going on for public domain. I've got just a ton of stuff, and we're going to try to raise money in any way possible. So if you guys want to do podcasts and help promote us, great. We'll take anything.
Absolutely.
We're not going
Absolutely.
out and spending $1 million on billboards and commercials and this and that and the other thing. We're going to do it the hard way because we know that it works and we know that we're capable of doing it this way. So why not? As long as you're willing to put in, a little bit of sweat equity, you can get it done. It just takes a little time. And then sometimes you will score a big investor or something based on the fact that you're out here trying to hustle nonstop without, anybody getting in your way. Or if they do get in my way, I will just go around them to the side. It's no big deal. I don't need to push through anybody. I could say, hey, let me just scoot around you. I can tell you don't want to be part of this. That's fine. But we're going to do it, and we're going to continue to do it. And I wouldn't be surprised if we shot 2 more features this year and several episodes of public domain.
Fantastic stuff. Well, obviously, when anything's ready to drop, give us a yell. We'll get you back on.
Yeah,
That'd be great. We'll share all the links. I'm mad.
More than you could ever understand.
It's all very exciting. It's nice to be involved in it. I'm really mad. I've got a mannequin to my right here, and I was going to put Richard's Mama Bear costume on it and have it behind me, but I ran out of time. But next time I'll do that. So because I got that from obviously it all went on eBay, didn't it? So I was going to put that on there, but I just didn't get time to do it.
And I'll tell you something that's crazy. Like people are always like, "Oh, don't you want to keep this, that, and the other thing?" And I'm like, I do want every costume from the very first thing I ever directed, Mama Bear, and I do want my script signed by Jared, Jensen, Misha, and Al-Cal from my episode of Supernatural. And I do want to have 2 mannequins dressed as Megan and Jake, Briana and my character standing in my garage. But the idea for me to keep going in this business and hand off what one day, God willing, universe willing, could be such a beautiful collectible that I end up purchasing back from you at some point. Like, really, it's a piece of, look, I know I'm not a historical figure, this and that, but you own a part of my history that is so beautiful and important to me. And it's people like you that have given me the chance to keep on doing it. So you gotta let the stuff go to somebody who wants it and somebody that'll appreciate it. I no doubt it will be something special to hold on to with a story and a memory, and you'll be able to see it worn by one of our favorite people on earth, Richard Speight Jr. forever. It's out there. It's on YouTube. Mama Bear's not going anywhere. If anything, Mama Bear is going to be shot for $2 million and turned into a slam dunk of a feature film in which we will enlist you to show up with your mannequin dressed as Richard Speight Jr. on the red carpet, because why the hell not? Why the hell not?
I actually do wear it. I wear the pants and one of the shirts. One of them I left like original, which is so it's filthy. But the black undershirt and the pants are I need to dye it if I can't do them up once. That's quite small.
It's amazing.
But yeah. Actually, if I tilt my camera up, there's up above the curtain thing you see there. Everything across the top there is all stuff that was Rich used in movies and stuff. So there's hang on, if I can get some, you can see the boots. So that's like his Band of Brothers boots. His Gabriel boots are up there as well.
Wow, holy shit! You got a Richard Speight Jr. museum in there.
Oh hell yeah! I've got those are rubber bullets from Band of Brothers there. There's his coat from that is in that closet behind me. So
that's awesome. I have a lot of Richard Speight Jr. autographs in here. In fact, I'm just getting these signed. This is a Mama Bear storyboard art comic from Scout, who's one of Supernatural's own, and now I've got almost the whole cast signing, and I have only a few of these and they're left over, but me, Adam Fergus and his wife Haley, who cameos, and then if you open it up, you've got Bree and my
Yeah.
wife and Rich and Jason Mans, and so I have a couple more to get, Jim Beaver and Jeff Parise. But it's I'm a fan of these people. You know, I feel flattered and lucky that they were involved in my project, and to be able to have something so personal like the Mama Bear comic done by Supernatural fan base's own Scout
Yeah.
Villegas. I always say her last name incorrectly, but it just ties into exactly who I am and why I'm here. I discovered the man I am proud of by being on a stage in front of Supernatural fans. They allowed me to be this person. They allowed me to be wide open and honest. They also gave me the confidence to go out and be a director and be a movie maker. I sat in so many meet and greets and on stage so many times where I said, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. And I never forget this time where a fan sat in my meet and greet and looked across the table, dead silent, and go, then prove it. And I was like, oh shit. Oh, 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 I can't just talk a big game. I have to do it now. The people that gave me the confidence to talk a big game are saying, when are you going to show us your big game? And so it's so rooted in a honest, good, like like I've been supported so well that all I can do is try to show support back. That's just it. It's just how it is. I have no ill will. I'm not, there's no part of me that's like, I can't wait to make $1 million and make everybody work for $5 a day. Like, no, it's, I'm here
Yeah.
because of everybody. I'm not here because of Matt. I'm here because of everybody. I got a work ethic, no doubt about it. I can work hard. That's one thing my dad gifted me, right? Is a great work ethic and understanding that through struggle is success. And every time you get knocked down, then you learn a new thing and so on and so forth. But I want to be the people's champ. I want to be the local, your local politician that eats hot dogs with you. I don't want to wear a suit and fly on a private plane. That's not for me. I'm a very normal guy that feels super lucky to be working in Hollywood for 20 years. And now, after 20 years, for the first time ever, goes out, self-finances his own movie with some of the people I love more than anything. I sat across from a table from Mark Sheppard for a week doing some of the most remarkable acting that'll ever come out of me, probably because Mark Sheppard was in front of me. By the way, you guys are going to freak out when you see how good Mark Sheppard is in this movie. This is a Mark Sheppard you've never, ever, ever seen, and a dialect I don't know if you've ever heard from him.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. I don't want to spoil anything because this movie is going to have a bunch of Easter eggs for not only Supernatural fans, but fans of Ricky Whittle, Felicia Day, Mark Sheppard, like all the people that are in this movie. There's Easter eggs for everybody. And going back real quick, and I know I go on and on, but going back real quick to the collaborative effort to make a movie, Mark is one of the easiest actors I've ever worked with in my life, because he absolutely loves what he's doing and wants to raise the bar in any way, shape, or form. He brought creative input to my project that changed the project profoundly, as well as Briana did the same thing. We were rewriting pages and moments because of the perspective that she offered, which was made it significantly better. Lee is a man, my creative partner, and I am a man, and we can write creative ideas, but a female influence is super important. And we had a lot of heads of department. We had a great amount of female presence on this film, and it elevated the project significantly. Obviously, I spoke about Richard and all that he offered creatively. He's a machine of creation. Ricky Whittle showed up. Oh my gosh! And listen, Ricky Whittle is a talented actor. He's a beautiful human being. I love this man. He is my family. But he came to work, and he added things to scenes that were not in the script that, again, elevated the project. And Felicia Day, you're talking about an iconic actress who's capable of anything. She came in and I was like, hey, so I have all this direction. And she was like, wait, can I do this like this? Can I do this character choice? And I was like, you've thought a lot, we're going to follow your vision. We're going to follow your vision, Felicia. And yeah, I set up cameras and I put this, that, and the other thing, but she brought it to life and she added so much to her character of Jen that I couldn't have pulled out of her unless she was willing to go there and give that effort. So, you know, I applaud this cast. I applaud this crew. I applaud you guys and the grassroots effort to help me spread the word on all of these things. I am full of grace and gratitude, and it won't go away anytime soon. 2025 is not about staying alive. It's about thriving. Let's thrive in 2025. And by thriving, I don't mean we don't have to be rich. We have to stay busy. We have to keep working, and we have to be each other's heroes. I want you guys to be my heroes. I want to be your hero. However I can help you, I'm going to help you. We're going to bring a big, giant community of people together. We're going to get stronger together as a community, and we're going to change the world, you know, whether it's one production at a time, one conversation at a time. We're going to invest in each other rather than the elite people that don't give a shit about us. We are going to invest in each other, in the community.
Fantastic. That sounds like a great place to leave it, to be honest. That's
Yes.
I know we could just go on, but I guess Beth's got
And
editing.
anytime you guys want, I love talking with you. I will be in Rome. Here's an exclusive announcement that hasn't been made yet, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it. I will be at Jib this year. I will be in Europe a couple times this year. If there's a way we sit down and do a thing in person at some point, great. I'd love to do it. I enjoy you guys. I enjoy your support for Richard. I support him as much as you. I should honestly be running the RSJ Fan World page because
you know, anytime.
he's changed my life, you know?
Yeah. I think he's emptied my bank account is a big part of it, but yeah.
Mine too, really. You want to know how? Listen to me. I haven't really made an acting paycheck since the end of 2023. So I set out to make this movie based on the confidence Rich instilled in me, enough confidence to go borrow a lot of money against my home where my family lives, where they rest their head at night, based on him. So he's not only emptying your pocketbook, he's somehow emptying my pocketbook as well.
It's worth it.
It's totally worth it.
Well, hopefully we'll speak to you very soon, and maybe that will be when Public Domain has its first episode, when Exes comes out, or just shoot the breeze, really.
Yes,
Whatever.
and if you guys can help me at all by letting people know, listen, there's a bunch of ways where they can still donate money for beautiful signed, one-of-a-kind pieces. I haven't even put up all the different things that I have, but we really have some amazing wardrobe and set pieces from the movie Exes and some other stuff from Mama Bear, as well as some stuff from Public Domain. So anybody that's willing, we're not asking for anything for free. If you want something and you want it signed by someone, or let us know what your wildest dreams are, because your wildest dreams are helping us achieve our wildest dreams, and we're happy to do it. You guys are so lovely, and I appreciate you taking the time. And stay well and stay safe, and just don't forget to stay motivated. Stay motivated for helping each other, building up each other. Our communities are what need some love right now. We need to work on just groups of people loving each other. Forget about politics. Forget about, you know, the chaos of the world that you watch in the news. Shut it off. Tune into each other. Have more conversations, and let's just show some support. That's all.
Love that. That's great. Thanks, Matt.
Awesome. Great seeing you guys. You take care, all right?